like a rock concert.
I
here.
know.
I like it. I was already looking at the comments before I cheated. I looked at the comments before you did.
Okay. Hey, welcome to Aaron Live. It's August 22nd, 2021.
Oh my gosh, that went by fast.
I know. And the summer's almost
gone.
This whole
summer's just been like sweaty summer.
I'll tell you, hey, we had a tremendous opening for Wraith of God this weekend, and I
owe
it all to you guys, and thank you for supporting the project and getting out there and spreading the word and all that kind of stuff. We've come a long way, but we're not where we need to be yet. So we want to keep pushing it and keep promoting it, and I'll do everything I can, and I hope you guys will as well, so I can actually break even on this project.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Woo! So Shelly and I want to address something real quickly, and then we want to put it to bed forever.
Seriously.
There's been a lot of, mostly on Twitter, blowback and verbal assaults, and well, I don't know if written assaults on me and our family and everything else, simply because we chose to launch the project on Ethan's live stream, and because I, of course, have an association with Comicsgate and a lot of creators who are also Comicsgate, and so the whole thing is just stupid.
Yeah,
it's foolishness, and I'm not a Nazi. I have never been part of the KKK.
No,
I have never been a card-carrying member of any hate group. Although I have been assaulted by hate groups, but they don't think they're hate groups.
Exactly.
They think I'm a hate group.
How many times the only hate is spewing from you, and anybody who knows Aaron, like, you find people here, like, it's ridiculous that anybody would even remotely say that and attack him. And I don't know how many times of course, I had to respond.
Shelly jumped in for a 24-hour Twitter fight while I was actually trying to sleep, thrashing in bed because I didn't sleep much that first night. It was kind of unfortunate. They sort of stole the joy of what was a pretty successful launch.
Yeah, we went from, oh my gosh, this is awesome, to what the?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
But, we've sort of, we're kind of burnt out on the whole thing. Yeah. And if there's people that aren't going to be my friend anymore, then that's their business, I guess. But, it's like, we just got to move on, and
they will crawl back in their hole where they belong, and
move on to the next person.
Move on to the next person, unfortunately. And Aaron's never, as I said, they don't even know him. He's never done anything even remotely mean to anybody, and he treats everybody with respect. It was absolutely insane. And like I said, they don't even know him. If he was even remotely close to any of that, I would have shut it down.
Yeah,
I would have shredded you. Is that what
it's just that type of stuff. And I'm not going to sit here and say that people, the Ethan's show doesn't get a little rough and tumble sometimes. I mean, they criticize stuff they don't like, and that's fine. They have every right to do that, just like everybody else on YouTube does. And in no way, shape, or form is there any sort of bigotry going on or any of that kind of garbage going on over there. It's just basically, let's be honest, this is all shakes down and it all ends up being political at the end of the day, and they just kind of mask it with selective morality because they don't like someone's political positions, and then they attack. So,
and that's a great thing about our country is you have a right to think what you want, and so do we. And we like, it has anything to do with me, but
it does now.
Exactly. It doesn't have anything to do with Aaron. Their beef is with somebody else, and he just happens to be somehow, the target of the day. And as I said, he's been on several different shows. So I submitted, I asked, do you want a list of those for your approval? And
it was just, it was the whole thing just it was really nonsensical, and we just don't want to.
But it was really hurtful.
It was
so hurtful that people would say that without having any. I'm like, you find something that Aaron has been mean to or said things about, and because they have an issue with somebody else, and honestly, stuff happened years ago. What in the heck does that have to do with you? Absolutely nothing. And if you see anything like that, you would address it. And you know, whether they want to be raunchy and inappropriate, that's on them. You'll never hear anything like that from Aaron. And that's
Right.
just his choice. They do, you know, as I would say, you do you, boo.
Yeah, they have their own, you know, they can, you know, Ethan and those guys, they can do their shows the way they want to do them, and that's their show, you know, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do want to say the silver lining in all this, despite all the crap, was a lot of pros and other people like you guys. I'm going to get all misty. No, you guys reached out to me, and it was really a positive experience. People that I didn't know that were supportive of me came out and said, hey, and I'm not going to out anybody because I wouldn't want to put anybody through what I just am going through. Oh. But that was very encouraging and nice to know. And I like to think that maybe someday again, despite political differences or social differences, that, you know, we can at least be cordial and friendly again, like we used to be. Maybe that'll never happen again. I don't know, but I'm hopeful. Well, so anyway,
it was when they started attacking our family. Oh man, they were lucky they weren't near me at all. It's, you know, and you guys have a right to not like anybody you want. It doesn't matter. And yeah, we figured some people wouldn't, I don't know, be happy about it. But again, never did we think that.
Oh, sure. It was obviously, I knew that
called a Nazi and a bigot, and that we're part of a hate group. And I mean, it's
everybody I know involved with Comicsgate and Ethan are pretty good guys.
They've been supportive.
The ones that I know well, that I can say that about. You know, there's other guys I don't know that well. So I can't vouch for them, obviously, because I don't know them well enough. But the guys I do know well are really good guys.
But to hold you accountable for somebody else, like I said, I wasn't aware that Aaron had that much power.
I know. I'm personally responsible for everybody's behavior.
It was amazing. But I think that before we just I want to go back a little bit. But
anyway, let's just say that's it, and let's move on. Yeah. So again, thank you guys all for your support and everything, and let's just get back on with our lives and move forward, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so who's here?
Well, you know,
Leg Kick here because he's always here.
But most importantly, I think
Amen.
Oh my God!
I think there might be a bit of confusion about whose show this is. Oh, it was the wrong one.
If I was in charge, that wouldn't happen.
I just blew the whole comic.
All right, should we try it again?
Okay. Wow. Look at that.
That's the most important part right here.
I cannot believe what I'm seeing. And now I've got to scroll to find the dumb thing.
Good for my self-esteem.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, this is my show. Okay, so it's not.
I'm just here for the big bucks.
That's right. Hey, look at that, Garbage Man. Oh, you know what? And that is Sketch Therapy here.
Oh, not yet.
Well, let me. I wanted to call him out, so I'll wait and see if he shows up, and then we'll deal with his.
Oh, that's a new one. I haven't.
Aaron, of those who have been. Aaron, those of us who have been here for you and your content are sticking around. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Like I said, anybody that knows you, the people that are worth having, are.
This is, this is actually kind of true. No, this is actually kind of true because I've watched Ethan's show when he's just on there by himself. He's actually fairly restrained. He does critical analysis of people's behavior in comics and things like that, which is totally fine, I think. And he's been, but it does get, a couple of guys get in there, it gets off the rails, turns into a junior high locker room pretty quickly. But anyway, like I said, they can do what they want to do. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
So look at this. Someone, I'm going to pronounce this Fook Google Goo too, even though we know that's not how to pronounce it.
Google.
Shelley is a spine. Aaron, stay the course, get on shows, push the IGG. Your detractors want you to make you defensive, hurt your growth. Art had the same issue. Yep, you're right. Yeah. And that's why I said we're not giving him any more fuel. We are done with dealing with it. So we'll just they can go away.
Well, I'm going to stew a little bit longer just because. But I do have a spine. It's kind of jacked up, but I still have one.
I think this is important. Yeah. Once I found out Erin resides on Earth, and I know that terrible atrocities Earthlings have caused, I had to refund because Erin is guilty of being an Earthman. I think that's reasonable, and I appreciate that.
Okay. How much? Hi, Potato.
I've been checking for a live show. How much have I missed? We're almost done. Great for showing up so late.
No, we had to go later today because our daughter, who we love so much, so dearly, who doesn't drive, had to be picked up from work. And
then she informs me that she has to go to her boyfriend's house for dinner, which is like a long way away. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? So then we had a delay.
And I guess if you'd married better, I would have driven.
Oh, I wanted to say thank you for the $5. I really appreciate that, by the way. I did read your thing, but I want to say thank you for it.
No, I'm not going to Starbucks. I don't go to Starbucks. I got to find a new place to go.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
This is my show.
Jeffrey's here.
Shelley isn't here. Is it?
Yep.
It didn't take long for Jeff to get it. Let's see.
Aaron. David's in the house. Liking it. Yep.
There he is. Get to painting, boy. Aaron. F haters. Well, okay, you guys, I'm not going to paint, but I'm going to show you paintings and we're going to discuss what I did.
Okay, but what's our time limit?
So in other words, Shelley says if it takes more than 15 minutes, she's going to pull the pillow out. How many? How many are you looking at? This is a lot of them have your kids on them, so you might have more interest in them.
Yeah.
Okay, this is first of all, thank you for the $5. Appreciate that, the super chat. Has Wraith operated through different periods of history? As I'd love to see that. That's a really interesting question, and I can't really address that. But I will say this. I will say this, that once we get to $50,000, once we get to 50,000, that unlocks a 3-page epilogue that sort of ties some stuff together that I think maybe you'd all want to see.
Okay.
So we'll just leave it at that.
You're just going through. Remove thy hand from thy mouse.
Okay, one thing we haven't done for a while.
Oh, that's nice.
Snacks, baby.
What'd you get?
Okay, we got Swedish fish. Oh, I bought my first Aaron Lopresti comic the first day of the campaign. I'm a new customer and fan. Much love.
Awesome.
Hey, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Big chunk. I want part of this time. You got the big chunk last time.
No, not the whole thing.
No, because you put it in the refrigerator and I didn't get to it. And the next day you took it.
Part of it was gone already.
I know, because you ate it.
No. Am I taking Ambien again and forgetting what I'm doing?
And
no, I can't with a crown.
Some turtles, because those are in.
Those are mine.
They're in 2 pieces, so we can split those.
No.
So
What? Oh.
That was for Shelley, not for you. So I hope you guys brought some food. I should have advertised on the thing to bring some snacks. Mama Bear comes out right.
Yeah,
absolutely, she does. Should we open up the turtles? Because that's really what you want, isn't it?
Well, you know what? I can't.
Why not?
Because I still have a temporary crown on because the crown they were going to put on got messed up. So then I had to do it again.
Guess what I'm eating? Well, wait, can you eat any of this? Because the Swedish fish will tear it up, won't they?
No, they're not as sticky. I'll eat the fish.
I want some fish though too.
We might need to take a commercial break here while I thrash him.
No.
Oh my gosh. But yeah. Rouvière. Almost 50K. I know.
We got to push it. We got to push it.
That's crazy.
Although somebody took a refund today. I almost cried. A couple refunds went out today.
I was thinking that maybe stuff came up. You never know.
I know it's tough.
Thank you.
Oh my. Didn't we just read this?
Yeah, I'm going through them.
Okay. Thanks again. So you got double on that $5.
Nice. Jeff
has COVID, you guys, so keep him in your thoughts and your prayers.
Hope you're feeling all
I don't know
right.
if you want me to announce that, but no, you announced it on Twitter. So that was you, wasn't it, Jeff? It was. David's been sick, but did not have COVID.
Hyperdater.
Paul Brillhart's here. What did Paul say? Go back up to Paul.
Oh, wait, he's right here too.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. It's already fallen off once, so I have to be careful.
You went overseas with a temporary crown? You're crazy, man.
That one?
Go ahead.
Yeah. We should have kept count how many days we've not had air conditioning. But we cuts me off. We now have 9 fans in our house.
We did. I got back from Tennessee. I'm at the airport saying, "Hey, I'm on my way home." She goes, "Oh, hey, can you pick up some fans at Home Depot?" I just ordered.
There was just curbside delivery. All I do is drive up.
I was like, what was it, 6?
6 fans.
They were laughing at me in there, and I'm like, "Well, our AC's out." And so, so I had this idea to put them all in the windows at night, and it really did work really, really well.
Because I'm smart like that.
She does. She thinks
well, each of us have 2 fans. And so before we only had 1 for each person, and then we carried around from room to room.
Lewis is always eating like full meals. He doesn't snack at all. He's just like, it's totally having dinner.
It's awesome. Oh. Yeah. So I say something about my tushy's not big enough yet. Give me some sugar. Oh my gosh.
Well, dude, I'm really gonna, as soon as we hit 50, I mean, there's a little thing on the stretch goals. As soon as we hit 50, I'll pump it up.
Pump up the jam. That's what you're gonna do? Don't do that.
Okay, don't. Okay, I'm sorry. Make the Wraith like the ghost who walks. No, you're right. I should change the whole story right now. It's not too late, is it?
No. What? Oh my gosh. Let's see. What else?
Drawing Atari Force brings peace to the masses like a bridge over troubled waters. It also brings peace to the masses?
Oh.
Oh my goodness. Oh, hey, look at that. What do they say when you get a big one? They say, "That ain't cheap. Thank you, Statistical Zero. You guys need more snacks," or a White Claw. God bless. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, that's White Claw's her department. Don't you have some stashed down there?
I think there's one that's been down there for quite a while. Yeah.
I know, 3K. Do you think we can get there by the end of tonight? I don't know. That's a lot.
Ooh.
I'm hopeful. Though.
Challenge.
Wouldn't it be awesome?
Bring it.
Yeah,
Bring it.
Tell your friends. Oh, Mark. Now that's the kind of refund I like, buddy. Thank you so much.
Oh.
That's what I like.
I like that a lot.
Let's
see what else.
Let me give him.
They have them now scrolled, so you.
She keeps talking through these and like it's my fault. I gotta.
Seriously.
All right.
Cut me off.
So what were you saying?
Not important. I don't even remember now.
Yeah, see?
I don't know. Something smart mouth, I'm sure.
There you go. Let it melt in your mouth so it doesn't mess up your crowd. 9
I'm
is not enough.
patient.
I have 3 in my bedroom and I have an AC.
Oof. Yeah. A smart wife, trusty sidekick. We should hang out.
I can't argue with that at all.
Well, sometimes though, are you going to cut me off? I'm just getting ready.
No, okay. I was getting ready to, but I didn't know you were going to say something.
For a smart girl, I'm not very bright sometimes. So,
but for a bright guy, I'm not very smart sometimes. So it works out.
Works out. Oh. Yeah.
Leg kick. Are you in Tennessee? Well, I got to find it. There it is. I was just in Tennessee. For those of you who don't know, hey, we have 50 people watching. That's like a record.
My gosh!
That's like a record. So let's make them run away by dancing. 20. He's referring to the fact that I was in Tennessee just last weekend a week ago.
Yeah.
For Free Comic Book Day. So are you in Tennessee, Leg Kick? I don't think you are you? Maybe you are. Oh my gosh. That is so funny. I refunded Shane Davis during the live stream. It looked like his dog died Super chat on my friends so I can get back a higher tier. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's what we do. You know, you look at it, you're like, oh, someone doesn't like me. I mean, right now there's a lot of people that don't like me, but I'm like,
doesn't matter.
I mean, like,
can't please everybody.
I was like, no, you know, but okay.
Jiminy Cricket.
Shelly stops Aaron from an embarrassing rap performance. You know what also is kind of embarrassing?
What? So, yeah, I shut up on that one.
Don't turn on me like that. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. We're chatty today.
Agent of Camp launched on back day. Thank you so much. Oh, he's got a little Ms. Marvel in there. I should draw Ms. Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Bert, all the way from Canada.
Hey, Bert.
Oh, we do have a Jeff Stout update here. Yeah, I'm COVID ridden. For me, it's like a bad flu. Very little taste and smell sucks, but spirits are high. Great seeing you both tonight. Hey, get well soon. And I'm sorry you can't enjoy snacks when you can't taste them. And maybe if we lost our taste, we wouldn't eat so many snacks. I don't know.
Speak for yourself. I don't have to taste them.
She'd eat them anyway. They didn't invite me. I would have gone if they'd invited me.
Travel right now just seems like
I'm just
not fun.
I'm just old and grumpy, and traveling is like I used to be young and like, hey, I'm going to stay in a hotel. This would be awesome.
Oh my gosh,
let's go! And now it's like, oh my gosh,
I've been somebody else to clean the room, and
I'm going to be on the plane for 30 minutes. I don't want to go.
Remember, room service was like this huge thing. Oh, loved it.
I want you to know
phones in the toilet. What?
That I never ordered room service, and then we got married, and then it's like she's like, I'm not going down. I'm just going to order room service. Like that's extra money. And then pretty soon she'll be drinking the booze out of the refrigerator. And I'm like, no, there's $20 for those.
Those are too small.
I'm kidding. She doesn't.
Not worth the effort. Oh my gosh.
That's a good old, I remember that commercial. Hey, your peanut butter is only chocolate. Your chocolate. That's so sweet.
David, thanks. Let's see what else we got.
Yeah, the guy, my friends on the Brofessionals, especially Billy Tucci, likes to keep bringing up my failed Garbage Man campaign because he says, I want people to know that you learned something. You improved. And I'm like, yeah, okay, let's quit bringing up my failures.
Best
all right?
By making mistakes. I don't know how many times I've said that.
That's right.
In the classroom.
All right. So enough of this.
No, and he's not at a convention. Somebody said, are you at it? Yeah, Chris. No.
When's
your next one?
My next one's in Portland.
That's a big commute. We don't have to fly anywhere, but we're getting room service.
Yeah, room service here. That means I got to make dinner before I go to the show. But anyway, so yeah, I'll be at the Portland Rose City Comic Con, which I think is a 3-day event or something. So yes, I think I'm going to make a shirt with a bullseye on it that says "Throw tomatoes here."
Oh my gosh,
wouldn't that be fun?
No, I think this needs to be like on a bumper sticker.
That's brilliant. Failure is not trying. That's right. Okay, well, I don't know. Statistical Zero are not. I'm sorry. Sketch Therapy Artist apparently is not showing up. So I'm gonna. I was watching part of Ethan's stream last night, and first of all, someone commented on there that my art was like a journeyman's art, and I was just like that them's fighting words, because that to me is the biggest insult you can say about my work, because it's simply not true. But everybody's entitled to their opinion, so I got over that in about 30 seconds. But then Statistical Zero, the dog's over there eating stuff that he's not supposed. What is he eating?
Mechanical pencil.
Where did he get that?
I have no idea. He's got a match. Oh, he got into Samantha's backpack.
Okay.
And some essential oils, although it says cheer on it. So if
maybe
make him happy.
Right.
He growls. He's so annoying right now.
But so the what was I talking about? I can't remember.
Sorry. Wait. Journeyman.
Yeah, and so but then Sketch Therapy Artist is up there said in his, and I just happened to catch it because he wasn't like a money tweet or what do you call it, a super chat. He was just, and I just happened to catch it and scroll by, and he said that Garbage Man was a lame concept. And so I was waiting, when that guy shows up, he's getting the cannonball and the slaps, but he didn't show up.
Followed by, I'm being repressed.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't know if he's going to show up or not. Maybe he knows I caught him and he's not feeling too good about it.
You know what? It's all right.
No, you're right. But this is true.
But that's how we learn.
But I was experimenting too. I knew it was high, but I was experimenting, and I'm not going to get into the details, but it, obviously it didn't work.
Well, and two, that his goal is if we like, I have anything to do with it. If you have to bring somebody in to say, like, color it, you want to be able to pay them their normal rate versus,
right.
Oh, can you do this for me? But yeah, can you do it for,
on this campaign, nothing. I'm doing everything except coloring up. So if I don't hit the goals I need to hit, then I'm the one who's taking the hit, not somebody else, where it would have been different on Garbage Man.
It's, it's just kind of a respect thing. Hey, I'd like to use you because I think you do great work, but yeah.
Now, see, this is what I was afraid of. Someone pointed out that Ethan and Dan Frag are having a stream right now.
Oh.
So I'm probably getting killed. Although I have good numbers right now, best numbers I've had ever. But I knew he was going to stream today, and that's why I wanted to stream earlier, so I wouldn't be in conflict with.
Oh, thanks.
But then my daughter screwed it up, and so, so if people don't get to see this live, they can go check. I mean, we do the show. You can watch it whenever. If you're not, so that doesn't really bother me that much.
All day. We need to do like a compilation.
I don't know.
Why are you eating all the fish?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm just like.
We'll just do a compilation of all Shelly's rips. Okay, wait.
Wait, we need to roll some videos.
Yeah, but wait, there's don't. I've never been part of a brand.
I swear you, we're going to do a T-shirt that says Aaron Live featuring Shelly Showtime.
Shelly Shredder.
Shelly Showtime. That's in the past.
Oh yeah.
We're back with Shelly Showtime.
Oh, Bert. Have a good day tomorrow. I know we're late.
Thanks for joining. I know we're late. I apologize for you guys on the East Coast who have to put up with this late night stream. Oh. Well, that's an obvious statement. That's not even a compliment. That's an obvious statement. No. If you weren't, we'd really have problems.
All right. Thanks for stealing the thunder.
You are. I'm just saying that's an obvious statement. How is that wrong?
Oh gosh. Oh.
Well, see, David's in there with it. The person who called you a journeyman artist also said he liked unique looking art and said that he hated my unique take on Bass Reeves. So don't mind this person.
So it's a good question. My book would be something nobody wants. Well, artist-wise, yeah, never. But the only book I could write would be a math book. And
she actually did write a math book. We should sell it on here.
Ooh, it's a review workbook.
I'm going to cut you off again. Just go ahead.
That helps you keep your skills for the summer and helps you get ready for the school year. All those important algebra skills. Oh yeah.
Yes,
that's our favorite thing. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
you had a really nice comment on one of our videos saying that you appreciate the fact that we keep it clean, so you can actually, and your kids like to watch me draw, which is, I appreciate that very much.
We need send us a photo of the kiddos. I'm a big fan of kids.
Speaking of foul language, also Jiminy Cricket. In addition, Mr. Lopresti he called me Mr. though, so that's wow.
Because we're older, probably.
Well, yeah, but I appreciate that. Should stream with people to get out of the comfort zone a little. Oh, I'm out of my comfort zone almost anytime I stream with somebody else. So,
but again, they do them. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually did in Mystic.
Yeah, there's a villain in Mystic that is a math.
He has mathematical problems all over his face that I got from Shelley.
Well, not problems, but formulas.
Formulas, right.
Pythagorean theorem, quadratic formula, and things like that.
Wow! Thank you very much. K Manifesto for $10, and he actually bought to be in the book.
Oh, that is cool. I was wondering who did that. I can't wait.
Well, there's two guys did. Fox Mulder bought in the book as well.
Nice.
So.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'll get. Well, you guys, as your scenes are near the last third of the book, so I'll be contacting you for like getting photos and stuff once I know exactly how I want to draw you. Ooh, look at this.
What?
Watching from Ireland. So glad you've gone independent. It should provide you with greater creative freedom. Your Wonder Woman artwork is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Malachi. Malachi Gallagher. I can't really do a Irish accent.
Our son was watching a YouTube video on how to make sourdough bread. He bakes. It's kind of cool. But it was like, take your flour. He thought that was the best thing in the whole video.
Your art is fantastic, and I do not lie about what I like. It takes years of work and a lot of talent to draw out your skill level. Thank you, old man.
He works so hard, but even as a kid. You're gonna cut me off again?
I can only hope that old man is older than me. Probably isn't.
Probably not.
No.
But even as a kid, his mom would say like he liked it when it rained because he wasn't forced to go outside and play, so he could stay in and draw.
All right.
It's amazing.
That's true. Okay, let's do some stuff.
Okay, what do you got?
Well, let's start with this. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta take this off the screen first.
Okay.
You're an artist, even formula or problems.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of mathy. Okay, now let's try this.
Okay. That was pretty cool.
What do you think of that?
I liked, my favorite part was the ink wash around, and how first thing I noticed is how crisp the images were, but then the ink wash in the back made those really pop.
Listen to her dropping art language on us.
I learned some stuff.
Yeah, that's
in 30 years.
The sad thing about that piece, though, is I believe that's the only page Wrightson did to that story. There's going to be this kind of cool sci-fi story, and as far as I know, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, that's the only page that he did to that story. So
I liked it. The background was really kind of cool. The ink wash.
David says, also journeymen don't artistically evolve. That's true. Thank you. That is absolutely true. Thank you, David.
Mm-hmm. What else you got?
Walden Wong's channel is great. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, and we don't have time to. Well, okay, you don't have time to watch a bunch of other YouTube channels.
Gosh. I wanted to buy the cover art, but I couldn't for the art. That's so sad. I hope you're joking, but if you're not, you have my sympathy. That's terrible. Oh, I see. You'd get divorced if you bought the cover. I get it.
I hope that's the joke.
I think that's the joke.
Okay.
Excuse me for being an idiot.
Well, we never know because, I was really. Go ahead.
All right. No, go ahead. No, go ahead and talk, please. No, please talk.
No age before beauty. Ooh. Ooh. The sass is strong with this one.
Yeah, what were you going to say?
Even know.
See, that's
no.
What I'm saying.
I know. Okay, deep breath, center. It's hard to know what people mean because you can't see their faces.
That's
you
right.
Hear a voice.
That's true.
But I think what you do a really good job. I hope we both do. I can't say for myself, but we absolutely so much enjoy hanging out with you guys. And holy cow, this dog has got his head buried in the backpack. You do a really good job of making connections with people. We can't even see you guys. It would be really cool to we see some little pictures and stuff, but get to know you guys. And if you are at a show that we're at, come and introduce yourselves, not by your real name, unless you use your real name on here. But it's awesome. Okay, now you can go. I'm going to deal with the dog.
Basically, Jeff, the inspiration was Wraith of God was originally a Western ghostwriter proposal for Marvel. Okay. And I wasn't in a position of any sort of power, kind of like now. And so I couldn't get him really to no one really wanted to look at it, because at that time, this was like the mid 90s. They're like, no one's going to buy a Western. And so it just didn't go anywhere. And so, but I thought the concept was really good. So I just redesigned the character and made my own thing out of it. And that's where that came from.
This one?
Yeah. Dune, is that Dun? Dun. It's got to be Dun Ringil, right? I first saw you on Frag of June. I was very impressed with your talent and speed. You drew 2 drawings while everyone else was working on the challenge one. Thank you. Yeah, I like to do that to annoy people. It's like bust one out.
Oh,
what the heck is he?
Dog.
What is he eating now?
He's in your DC bag.
All right, now I'm gonna leave while Shelly talks.
Oh, pressure!
Get out of there!
That's what we hear the most. What are you doing? Get out of there! Quit barking! Yeah. Well, John's in the house.
John is
loving it. Yeah. Showtime, Shelly. I do what I can, I guess.
Apparently, it's not my show anymore. Good night, everybody.
Sorry.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
You guys are so fun. But seriously, we should have like a.
Yeah, I was a little bit,
You flexing, hon?
I was.
Now that
I got to get back in shape before I can really use some.
I was just gonna. Remember the days when we really could flex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were a while ago. Blake keeps wanting me to point out that we've increased in viewers.
Oh my!
We have.
Look at that. That's like a double.
60 people right now. Thank you.
And we're so excited.
Much.
60 people. There's people that have like thousands.
Woo! I know. Well, hey.
But you know what?
For us,
everybody counts.
That's right. And we appreciate you guys joining us. I appreciate you so much. We're going to take a moment to kind of go back in time a little bit.
Ooh, precious moments. Precious moments.
And we're going to watch Precious Moments from yesteryear. How about that? Let me give you a little background on that. I'm probably a lot of you guys are probably familiar with it, but I'm going to give you some background anyway, because I wasn't going to put it all in the video. But so this guy, Edgar Church, was a commercial artist, right, back in the 30s and 40s, and I guess into the 50s. And when comic books first came out, he thought they might be the next big thing, so he wanted to stay ahead of the curve, right? So he went and bought all these copies of all these like Action #1 and just everything. Right. And he took them and he started stacking them up in this closet. And get a load of this. His intention was to create a swipe file. And for those of you who are not old enough to know what that is, that's basically artists would take magazines and they would cut, like, if I want tank, right, I'm gonna make a military swipe file. So I go and cut out of magazines pictures of tanks and guns and army people, right? And you put them all in this folder. So if you
he was going to cut those up?
Yes. That was his intent.
Can you imagine if he did?
But he never, I know, but he never got around to it, right?
I'm a quick one, aren't I?
So
yeah.
Here is, he's a much older.
Oh, the dog.
What is he doing?
Somebody did ask what kind of dog. It's a miniature schnauzer, and he's so cute and so funny, and he's lucky that he's so cute because oh my gosh, puppy. Puppy.
So anyway, so he calls up a couple of comic shops and finally, guys, and Rosinski is a guy who finally calls and he says, look, I got this collection of comics that I want to sell. And he's like, okay, yeah, what, and he didn't really know what he had, right? And so he said, and I want $2,500 for him, right? And so, and he had the price set. He wasn't going to take a dime less. So Rosinski goes over there, I think with one of his friends, maybe by himself, and they go in there and open up this closet. And it's in Colorado, and it's a really cool temperature, right? So they've been stored at like the absolute perfect conditions, dry and cold. And he opens it up, and he just can't believe what he's seeing, right? So he didn't have the money, so he called up one of his friends who got him the money funds that they needed. And so they went in together and bought this thing, this collection, which is now valued at over $100 million if you take the entire comics.
Okay, somebody's...
But those books got split up, and most of them have been CGC graded. and they're out in the market, and the thing about them is, even if they're generally the highest grade of whatever particular issue it is that's available, but they also are the nicest looking. They have like white pages and super
because they
clean.
were stored in like this perfect.
And as someone once told me, a dealer said, there can be a difference between 9.2s because they grade the structure of the comic. They don't grade the looks.
Oh.
And so if you have a cover that's like really clean and really white and really bright, it could be a 9.2, and you can have another one that's dull and not as attractive and still be a 9.2 because structurally it's a 9.2. But these books are better looking than any book in their grade, and most of them are the highest graded books.
Wow.
For whatever particular issue that is. And so anyway, I always thought that was really cool, and I would love to own one, but ain't gonna happen.
Should have married better.
And if you guys watched my video, that I made about the comic book ages, they what was I going to say? The highest graded copy of Action Comics #1, which was the first appearance of Superman, sold for recently $3 million at auction.
Wow.
The Mile High copy is not graded. Somebody owns it and has it tucked away in their safe or whatever. And the people that have seen it say that they think it's at least a 9.4.
Wow.
That means that thing could be worth $10 million.
Wow.
If it got out in the market. So how about that?
So, booyah. Number 600.
Thirst for War. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. The support on this is...
It's so nice. And then, of course, I love that. The Lopresti Army.
Not enough of us Lopresti true.
Hey, we'll get there.
We're slow building. We're slow building.
Although somebody had a really... Yes. I love this.
You're a game man arguing with Shelley over sweets after the way she took a wrench to those Twitter freaks.
I said, don't mess with my man.
Oh, and I don't
do it.
And she says, and man, don't mess with me. That's what she says to me. So it's like nobody messes with Shelley.
Yep.
J-Dog is here. J-Dog, he went after some guys on Twitter for me too. I appreciate that a lot.
And yeah, I kind of wish we hadn't even like said anything ever on it, but I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take it.
Yeah, you can only take so much of that stuff, and you got to kind of fight back a little bit.
Not giving him any more energy. We're done.
Leg Kick doesn't like CGC books, and Jeff Stout says it's really hard for me to buy CGC comics, having them slabbed where I can't touch and read them. You know, I got over that. I used to be really sort of anti-CGC, but what I found was that I was buying raw books, and then if I wanted to trade them to another dealer for me, if I trade up for another book or something, which I occasionally do, they're like, "Oh, look at that little thing! Oh, you know, this is only a 7.5," and I'm, you know, so I got tired of dealing with that crap. So I buy graded books when I can, but the books I have, I don't get graded because I have no idea what they're going to come back like. So, and I don't want to spend the money and take the risk. It's not going to come back what I think it is. So, but I do buy graded books, and I also buy Marvel Essentials. That's why I can read those and not mess with my comic.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yep.
Oh, Lady Celtic Moon. Hey,
Night.
Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. And sleep well.
Okay. Where's our new thing?
Lopresti Legion. How about that? That's not bad.
I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, I love it how people like, I'm number backer 82. Love that. Maybe I should I back it, do you think?
That's just kind of it's robbing Peter to pay Paul at that point, isn't it?
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
I'm sure I have a lot.
Yeah, and I probably I don't block people. I just mute them because when you block people, they can take a picture of it and they kind of use that as a badge of honor. Oh, look, he couldn't take it. He had to block me. So I don't block them. I just mute them, and then they can scream at me all they want, and I never see it. Yeah. So,
hey, there's some trivia for you.
I don't know what condition that was in. I know he had a Captain America #1 that was like an 8 or an 8.5 that he sold and went for pretty big money as well. So, wait a minute, bring up Charlie's London right there. Hey, Charlie, why don't you have me on your show soon so we can talk Wraith of God and all that kind of stuff.
And how awesome his wife is.
And I heard you recently got monetized over 1,000 subs, so congratulations on that. Very
nice.
Cool. She's over across the pond, aren't you? You're in London, right? I mean, you're not from London in the States, but you actually are in London, right? Which is kind of cool.
Great question.
Someone had Fox bought the other page. He's going to
be on the same page.
Yeah. So
that would be cool.
Well, I'm toying with the idea of putting Shelley and I as wanted posters in the sheriff's office. I just might do that.
That was
wanted for someone else's crimes.
John's great idea, which we appreciate. Oh man.
People also have been telling me you should put the professionals in there too. So I might draw a few seedy characters and drop the professionals in the background for you guys to kind of find at your leisure.
You were awesome, my man.
Thank you, Defenders of Comics. I was on his show and I would do his show again. Those guys were very nice.
Yeah. So I mean on Twitter, you can DM me about it. So yeah.
I did send you a Twitter message.
You're amazing.
But I'll do it again. Okay, so let's talk about what the big subject of the show is. Some people last time wanted to ask me if I painted. And I said, yes, I do. Not as often as I would like. Can you what?
Story.
Oh, Shelley wants to tell a story
first. Does he paint? No. Okay, so almost 3 decades ago, when we bought our first house, we named it the 70s Disco House because it hadn't been updated at all since the 70s. And he knows. And so I was like, okay, we're redoing everything. You eat away.
Okay.
And
Bald Bob Ross. Oh man, where's that?
I think before I put my hair up in this messy bun, it was looking.
Sorry, it took me too long to find it. Cut it off.
I was looking a little Bob Ross myself.
Well, yeah, that's right. Your hair was a little bit frizzy.
Curly hair. And so I'm thinking, well, he's an artist, paints. He'll help me in the house. And he says, I paint on canvas, not on walls.
I didn't say
and it. And then you said, I'll pay for it, but I'm not doing it.
That I said.
Yeah. And you did say the other one too as well.
No, I didn't say it snooty like that though.
I did, add some artistic flair to that.
I kind of jokingly said, hey, I paint on canvas, not on walls. And
you're not good to his word.
I was.
Didn't paint a lick.
You have to admit, I suck at it though. I've gotten better since I helped with the kids' room. I'm like trying to make it look all, and she's like, well, you just.
Yeah. And that's what people go, oh, playing Pictionary with Aaron must be so awesome. I'm like, no, it's the worst. Because it has to be so perfect.
I take too long to draw anything, and then it's like we lose.
Yeah, you can't do a stick figure for goodness sakes. Too funny. Okay, so I hear you paint sometimes. Go back to it. Yeah.
Look at all these T-shirt ideas we have. Aaron is the king of cutting off.
But handling is always free.
Handling is always free.
Oh, okay. Man.
All right. So. Tell me the artwork.
Oh, I see.
We'll start right here.
Start this one?
Yeah.
All right.
This isn't a painting, but I found this while I was looking at the painting stuff, and I thought, this is really interesting. Nana's up, and she's crabbing at the dog.
What in the world?
So.
What? Oh, we got to see this backpack.
I need a piece of paper to hang on.
It's not fake.
What do you get?
Got a flash drive.
Wow. Okay.
Butt nugget.
It's a family show. My wife, my kids, my grandma, not my grandma, my mother.
Yeah.
Somebody's grandma, but not mine. Boy, this is like a last second live stream. I forgot to open up the camera.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Stall for time, Shelley. Tell us the joke.
So he didn't paint a thing, and
okay, you
our
tell that
house
story.
Became quite the '90s house at that point. I'm sure they've done other stuff with it.
Well, it was the '90s,
90s.
So why wouldn't it have been very '90s since it was in the '90s?
The '90s.
Now it's in the '90s up here, but that's temperature, not.
Yeah, can't turn fans on because they make too much noise. But we got some fans.
It's pleasant right now.
Well,
It's not hot
we
right
could
now.
have gotten a new AC unit tomorrow, but they wanted almost $1,800 more quote, and we're so desperate we actually thought about it for a little bit. Gosh, $1,800, the AC sooner, and then I was like, you know what? That's tuition money and that's jewelry money and whatever else we want to spend it on. Hint, hint. So yeah, so we're gonna tough it out the rest of the summer.
Okay, Charlie. You know, I'm dumb, so now I guess you're right. So I guess I have to do that. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. No, I'll DM directly. I'll DM you directly.
So maybe we should remind people to subscribe and like and hit the notification bell and that stuff.
Oh yeah,
maybe
that's kind of important.
Just saying.
It's kind of important.
Just saying. Where is it? Where is it? Scroll,
Oh
scroll,
my
scroll.
Gosh,
scroll,
this is such an annoying. Okay. Hey. I was late on Frankenstein.
And the drink for the protein drink.
Wait a minute, let me try that again. Let me try that again.
Okay. Pretty good.
That was much
pretty
better.
good.
Oh, look at we haven't seen this in a while. We should have done this before we started eating.
Oh.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Yeah. Oh, you're late.
Wow.
I'm gonna do that and then try to talk about some drool on your.
I know there's nothing more rude than people eating, right? Especially on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And yep.
All right, go for it.
We
Go.
are.
Do your thing.
All right. Let's take a look at this. Oh, I gotta switch. Okay.
Holy cow.
All right. Okay. Zoom in.
Cam. Cam.
Okay. You see this?
See this? Come rub my legs.
That dinosaur has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I just drew it on there.
I mean, that's like many pieces of paper in our house.
This is like at least 15 years ago. Yeah, because I was working at Marvel. This is before I went over to DC. And they were doing these Spider-Man newspaper inserts. Remember newspaper comics? Let's switch over to comments.
Oh.
Well, they were doing this for a short while. They were doing Spider-Man comics like insert, but even the cover was newsprint, right? And so they were redoing like the first 10 issues of Spider-Man, right? So they had me do issue number 10. Pretty sure it was 10, maybe 11. That was the Enforcers. So I saw these in there. I forgot I had them. They're on tracing paper, but. So I did those two, and then this one. And this one I think is my favorite.
Yeah.
But actually they opted for that one.
The first one?
Mm-hmm. But these are the three like roughs I did to show them.
Okay, you need to fix your camera because nobody wants to see my legs. That's just, they might want to eat again and
all right, we got to turn off the autofocus.
Oh, we are a mess.
Your viewership dropping fast. Okay, so these were like the roughs. I thought you guys might get a kick out of seeing these that I did, and
we have it.
Yeah. All right. So
now what? So these in order?
Not really. So we're gonna have to dig. No. That's fine. No. Oh no. Give me this one.
Oh, da.
Give me that one.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, I was gonna do a children's book graphic novel thing, right? And this is one of the panel pages that I completely painted with watercolor. There might be a little acrylic in it. No, I don't think so. So basically the idea of this kid, this like little Nemo and Slumberland kind of thing, of course. So he's asleep and the bed's being transported through space, right? And it comes here. Look at those groovy layouts. And lands here in Dream World. We have the shadow of a dinosaur coming in. And then, of course, the little boy is asleep, and this hand comes in to wake him up. And of course, he's surprised at what he sees. So this was basically penciled, and then I went in and watercolored it. And then to get these darker edges here, I used colored pencil over the top of that. But I didn't use any colored pencil for shading. I left it all just kind of watercolor. And this I did like in the 90s, probably one of those unemployed times.
Maybe.
When I was working on my painting. But I got a couple pages of this done, and then I just never got any farther, probably because I got a job.
Probably.
Wait, let me have this. Okay, this was done back in the 90s for, I don't know if this ever got published. I don't think it did. But these are a couple of characters that are going to be in the nightclub that appear in the Garbage Man trade paperback for the first time. So I guess I'll give some of this away. This is Sculpture. She's like a golem type stone chick. And this is the lead guy, Mr. Mystery, but he doesn't have the stitches. Someone said, that looks like it's a football with eyes. So I said, yeah, it kind of does look like that. So I changed him a little bit. But so anyway, these are a couple of characters. And this was like in the 90s when I was still sort of figuring out what they were going to look like and everything. And this was supposed to be a trading card. Like I think someone was doing like a series of like creator-owned character trading cards. So we just kind of do whatever we want. I don't know that it ever came to fruition. But again, this was inked with just regular India ink that you would use if you're inking a comic book, right, with a brush. And then I went in with watercolor and colored it. So, and I don't think there's any colored pencil on this at all. So anyway,
Nice.
I want to show that.
Okay.
Okay, so then I got serious a little bit later.
Which one? Oh, these were from your book. Your book.
Yeah, I want to get those in a minute. Give me the one of Samantha first. Yeah, it's like, wow, now all I can see is the football.
Football.
On the guy's mask.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
stitches there.
Yeah.
But
I love this. I'm more worried about people seeing my legs and looking at the art, silly. I know, but somebody might just, go, ew.
Okay, now check
that?
this out. This was a children's book concept I was working on. And this was my daughter in probably kindergarten or first grade, maybe. No, she's got to be older than that. First or second grade, maybe second grade.
Because she's got her ugly doll right there.
Yeah, which we picked up for at San Diego Con.
Not just one.
Well, she has quite a collection
now.
Yeah, we did them all the same year though.
Right.
So anyway, this is what she looked like, and this is on watercolor paper. Can we zoom in on this? You probably can't really see. Well, actually you can see because this is a smooth watercolor paper. It has a little bit of tooth to it, but not much. It's very smooth. And it doesn't, it's not really heavily textured because I didn't want that texture on the flesh tone. I wanted it to be very smooth and clean. Of course, I never painted this, but it was all part of a larger book project that we're now going to take a look at some of the art from that actually did get painted. Why don't we show the one all the way on the bottom?
Well,
no. The one with
holy cow.
No, keep going.
Holy cow.
That one. This one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Holy.
And I need all the prelims for it. Not right this second, but to give you time to dig it out. Okay. So this was from a children's book concept that I still want to do. I just, but it's called A Monster Ate My Sandwich. And
that is our daughter.
That is my daughter, our daughter. Now, the interesting thing about this is what I started doing was, because I wanted a heavier texture. So this is acrylic, okay, which does not work like watercolors. Okay, watercolors are very transparent, and you can get them really thin and layer them. This doesn't work that way. It doesn't blend real well, and they're difficult to use. Someone originally told me you needed to lay your colors side by side with acrylics to kind of get the look you want. Well, I balked at that, and I said, no, I don't want to do that. So what I ended up doing was I would lay color down. I'd wet it as much as you could, and I would lay it down, and it looked crappy, right? So then what I would do was I'd come over like this dark area right here. Can we zoom in on it?
Mm-hmm.
Oops. This dark area right here. This is actually more of a dry brush. So I went in there with very little water, got the paint, the acrylic paint on there, and then I would like dry brush over the top of this to kind of give this soft edge. And by doing this, I was able to kind of get this really nice sort of, it's splotchy, but I kind of wanted that texture, but I got it to kind of blend nicely. And so it's basically a dry brush technique with acrylic paint. Cool. And all of this back here is acrylic. I don't think you can really, if I get in there close enough, you can see that there's the orange basically with the pink in there. And I used a square edged brush to kind of get this sort of texture here. And it works really, really nicely. You can see, look at that chunk of paint right there. That's a pretty thick acrylic right there. Almost like you would do with an oil painting, right? Except, again, it doesn't mix or blend like oil paintings do. But, so this was all acrylic. This was all acrylic. Samantha, however, my daughter, this is all watercolor. Okay, and the reason I did that was because I wanted the flesh tones to have more depth, and I wanted a smoother finish. Mm-hmm. So I used watercolors, which are very transparent, to create the flesh tone.
And I love it that,
and you can see the difference in the texture between his belly, which is acrylic, and her skin tone, which is watercolor.
And as Jeff pointed out, her expression is like me viewing the jellyfish.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a little Shelly.
It is me. Yeah.
So, and of course she's irritated because you see the plate down here, this monster
ate her sandwich.
But so how do I get to this point?
Well, you do one of them.
The first thing I did was I printed out the drawing on, this actually may be I printed this out, just a line drawing, a pencil line drawing. And then I went in with a pencil, and this rendering on here is all done. I didn't do this on Photoshop or anything. I took a pencil and figured out my values. Okay. Is there a shot of this with all the little ones on it? Mm-hmm. The color studies? I know there's some of the other paintings, but there isn't one for her.
I don't.
Okay, I didn't. No. Okay, so I'll show you that in a minute on another painting. But then what I did was, the first thing I did was I did these little color studies, which I'll show you on the next painting. And then I figured out what my color scheme was going to be after I did this. So basically, you do these little tiny paintings on another sheet of paper. So you figure out what you're doing before you start, right? And so I have established all my values where my shadows are going to be on this. And then when I start going in here and painting, I know where they're going to be. Now, a lot of times you can go in here, especially if you're using acrylic, you can go in here and shade that in just like this, so you know where it's at. I don't have to, because by looking at this, I can make those decisions with the paint. But you could also go in and do the shading on this and then paint over the top of it. Okay, so let's take a look at the Hamburger Giant, which is my favorite. Actually, let's say this for last because that's my favorite.
Oh, goodness.
Let's look at the dragon, because that's my least favorite. Okay, so I created the ice cream dragon, right? And this is on, obviously, it's on tissue paper, because what I did with this, or on the other one I Xeroxed, but this I did a rough drawing, then I traced it on this tracing paper, and then I shaded in with the pencil to create my values, right? So you have your light and darks and your shadows and everything where they're going to be, right? So this is my guide for where my shadows are going to be. Then here we go.
There we go.
So then I printed out
the money.
This on, say, some Epson watercolor paper. Oh, I forgot to send that. The Bill Maxwell, if you're still in the chat, you sent me an email, which I appreciate very much, reached out to me in support, and I was going to email you back, and I haven't sent it. Well, they can't see it. It's just annoying us.
I'm going to quit.
Okay. So anyway, so I printed all these out. I shrunk it down, obviously, in Photoshop, and then printed them all out, right? And then you start doing color studies, right? So I used with watercolor, I went in here and painted this, the different potential color schemes. These I didn't even do, because these were kind of where I needed a cool color scheme because he's the ice cream dragon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a lot of options. And I decided this was probably the way to go with the blue skin and the pink, right? So with that in mind, I then took this drawing and, oh, yes, now I'm ready. That drawing, and then I light tabled it on, I better take that so
Yeah.
reflection. I light tabled it on this watercolor paper, okay? And then based on the pencil drawing I did that established the shadows, I followed that guideline and went in with my colors, which I'd already established on my little color things. Obviously, I made the blue much bluer, and the pink hotter because, you know, I wanted kind of more of a candy kind of colored feeling to it because he is, after all, the ice cream dragon.
Yep.
And this is all acrylics as well. And see, with the acrylics, I was able to work in the texture on the bowl that I wanted to get that I didn't feel I could really get with the watercolors. But this is almost all, I'm pretty sure this is all acrylic. But you can see right here on the foot, right there, look how delineated those lines are. Because the acrylic doesn't really, you have to do that with the acrylic unless you dry brush to get a softer edge, which I thought was kind of unnecessary down there. But you can see how delineated those lines are on there, and that's because of just the nature of the paint. So anyway, this turned out okay, but not as much as it's not as, I didn't like, what am I trying to say? I didn't like it as much when I got done with it as I thought it was going to when I started. So, but anyway, so that's one. So let's do the pizza troll. We have a pencil for that. I think it's right there in your hand. Yep. Oh, there it is. Do we have a color sheet for this? Mm-hmm. Okay. So taking into consideration what we showed you with the dragon, okay, let's take a look at this. Oops, let me do this.
Do you miss painting?
I do. I love to paint, especially old school painting, because it's like, to me, that's like illustration, you know? And I know everybody uses digital stuff anymore, but it just isn't my favorite. I'd much rather do this and have like a finished painting, even though it is a long sort of, you know, process.
Every time.
Never fails.
So David, you didn't miss much. You can always watch it. Dave wants you to start over.
Okay.
The computer crashed.
This is the quilt. Oh, my aunt sent that to me.
Oh, why don't you silence your phone?
Because I'm afraid it's important.
We might need a station break so I can thrash them again. Okay,
so here we go with, this again is on tissue. And I drew this guy about 100 different, well, that's an exaggeration, but
felt like it.
Yeah, 5 or 6 different times, so I got him right. And when I finished him, I thought he might be too gross looking for a children's book. I figured, look, he's the pizza troll. I'm going to make him out of cheese, or look like his skin's all cheese and lumpy and like cheesy, right? So it is kind of gross.
My tummy hurt just looking at it.
But I did think he had sort of a charm to him, right? You know, this is I have to admit, this is a kind of an old Bernie Wrightson thing where he used to do like humor drawings, and he'd have the character with bare foot with his toe wrapped around his other foot kind of thing. So I did kind of swipe that from Wrightson. So anyway, he's got his pizza hat on, he's got his apron, he's got his little Parmesan cheese thing that he'd be shaking out on the pizza, right? And so I did this drawing, figured all my shading again, right, in pencil.
It's cannibalism.
And then that's right, it is, isn't it? I never thought of it. This is really this is a horrifying children's book.
Oh my gosh.
So then I took this and I did color studies like I did with the other ones, and for some reason I don't have them, but that's okay. We just have to pretend. And then I transferred this drawing, light tabled it on the watercolor paper, right?
My favorite part is his butt right there. Cute. This little tushy.
Now, look at the texture I was able to get using the acrylic dry brush technique. It's very
Ew.
possible.
It does. Like, it feels like it would have.
Right.
You could feel it. Yeah.
It's almost oil painty-ish. And I may have, and I'm trying to remember, I may have laid, an undercoating. That's what you get when you eat turtles live.
An undercoating of cheese.
An undercoating of watercolor over this to kind of give it a base. And then I went over the top of it with the acrylic, and then using a dry brush. And what you call when you dry brush like this and get that effect is called scumbling, for all of you that want to know the painting terminology. So you can see that there's a good combination here. Like the pizza is all watercolor. Oops, sorry. The pizza is all watercolor. Okay, because I feel comfortable with watercolor doing small areas because you can keep kind of the edges of the watercolor. When you lay down a pattern of paint, eventually there's going to be an edge to it, right? And you have to slowly layer up to create the texture you want with watercolor. And it's much easier to control that when you're talking about a smaller area as opposed to a super large area. That's when I go to the acrylic on super large areas as opposed to watercolor, which I use on smaller areas.
I like his expression on his face. You always do a really good job of, like, every single thing has meaning. Oh, that nose.
Yeah, it's pretty gross looking, but it's charming, in a gross, charming way. Okay, now look at the line work of the shadows on the hat. That's all acrylic, and you can tell that's acrylic by how hard the edges are. There's a little bit of soft edge work here, and look at, again, the texturing on the hat. I'm not going to get that with a watercolor, but I am getting that with the acrylic and doing some dry brush stuff. Okay.
Well, you're getting a lot of really positive response about your children's book stuff.
Am I?
Yeah, that's really nice,
I should do it. Now look at his pants, and look how
very blue.
But look at the texture on the pants. This is all acrylic, but you can see how it looks different than it would from a watercolor.
I like the combo.
And I'm pretty sure I think the apron is watercolor as well. Feels like it. I might have put, there's some acrylic in here, but that may just be the white highlights I put in. So I tend to kind of move back and forth between these things. This tree is all acrylic. Okay, the tree stump is all acrylic. You can see the brush strokes in there, and how heavy those brush strokes are. And when you look at it, it just looks like, paint lines, right? But you start pulling back and it sort of becomes a tree because you believe that's what it is. And so you don't have to do all this, super hyper detail. So I went for more of kind of a chunky look to create that.
Okay.
Let's look at the Hamburger Giant, which is my favorite painting out of all this stuff.
Where do you want to start?
I'm going to start with
this.
Okay, now this is a Xerox copy because actually the reason those other ones are on tissue is because I did multiple drawings in my sketchbook, and they needed to be cleaned up. This one I kind of nailed out of the gate and looked really, really good the first time, so I just made a Xerox of it. And then I went in with my pencil again and put in my shading, which I probably shouldn't be touching that because I'm smearing the pencil. And you can see there's Samantha down there, right, who's the heroine of our adventure. And so again, establishing the values with my grays, with my pencil. Then I'm going to transfer this to the watercolor board. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to make a scan of it, and then I print it out like this on a big sheet of watercolor paper. And then I go in and do my color studies. Now, I only did him. I didn't color Samantha in here because I already knew what her outfit was going to be. I did a little bit, but I didn't really spend much time on it because that was already predetermined. So I went in to figure out how I could best do the color combination to his costume, right? I even hesitate to ask what that dog is chewing on, but all right, now this is, like I said, this is my favorite painting. This is very interesting. So it looks like after close examination, I think we went with this. I think we did. That looks, a lot of these are very, very similar. There's just a little bit of different, on the undershirt and everything. Yeah, maybe, no, it was this. It's this one. Okay, so what did I do here? This face is all watercolor. And you can pretty much see that.
Softer.
It's softer. And you see how I built up the color on his nose and his cheeks just by laying what?
How did she get to the land of the giants? She didn't drive. Good one, Paul.
That's for sure.
Oh, I know.
Oh my goodness. So again, these greens turn out a little gray, and I'm kind of sorry about that because it really is very green.
Yeah.
But so I went in here.
Gosh, they're super green and they show gray, but they are green.
So he's all watercolor here. The hair is watercolor. Good. Again, this is a small area, so it was really easy for me to control the watercolor and get it to look the way I wanted it to look. So I went in with watercolor. Now, the vest here is, do we know what he's chewing on?
No.
Okay.
Dog.
Can't
get there.
Husker.
Husker, come here, baby.
He's got a cap for something.
Yeah, you're all right.
Okay. If you take a look at the shoulder and what I've got going in here, this is clearly what I did with acrylics. You can see the dry brush edge right here that I went in and I would basically do this with the brush and spread it out like that.
Yeah.
And
thanks, David. Kicked butt on Harry Potter.
Oh.
Yeah, and somebody wrote, it'd be too bad if these just stayed in the drawer forever.
Well, yeah.
We need to clone you.
I know. Now, the hamburger bun was watercolor, but then I went in with some white acrylic to kind of create some texture. Whoa, almost lost it. You can see, because I was trying to get it to kind of look like a French loaf. And I think I finally got there.
French loaf.
Like the French bread loaf or something like that.
A baguette?
Yes.
But it's
a baguette.
A baguette bun?
I know, but I still wanted it to look that way.
Yeah.
So
a brioche?
So that took a lot more work than you would think to get it where I wanted it.
But the bun is important. All hail the bun.
All hail the bun. The vest is watercolor, and I just went in with a brush. You can see this little speckling on there to get that kind of leather texture. I just kind of went in with a brush and just kind of spotted it with the brown and some gray in there to kind of create that.
Yeah.
The green underneath here, this is all acrylic here. And you can see that again.
Why is that so gray? That's weird.
I know, it's just the color on this thing. Because you can see up there the camera, it's very green. But,
yeah.
But you can see here again, this is all scumbling in here to get that effect.
And that's that dry brush thing.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And the same with the legs on the pants. This is all acrylic. The boot is, however, as strange as that may sound, the boot is watercolor. And I went in with the same thing I did with the vest and created little spots all over it to kind of create that texture. If you can see that, right? So that's all watercolor. Samantha is so tiny here that this is all watercolor as well.
She is tiny.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
And this down here, which looks gray, but is actually green. It's like was this what a colorblind person would see?
Oh, I don't know.
But you can see the texture that I used a square brush on there to create that texture because I wanted kind of an oil paint texture to it. And you can do that just by laying down thick acrylic. Yeah. Like that, see?
Very cool.
And on his belt, we see he's got mustard and ketchup.
Because he's ready to go.
And he has a knife, but it's a butter knife for spreading condiments on the hamburger because he is, of course, the hamburger giant.
Well, and everybody likes his face. I like the comment. He's looking at it like, oh, this burger's going to really ruin my diet, or
well,
the carbs.
He may also be looking down because he's annoyed at the little girl down there.
Well,
wonders if maybe she's going to steal his burger.
Last one.
What do we got? No, I want to save that. Okay, this is the most recent painting I did, and this is interesting because this is the first painting I've done in probably 10 years. I did this whatever last Seattle show was. I think it was last year.
2019.
Was it 2019?
Yep.
Okay.
Autumn. Needs more bacon. Everything needs more bacon.
Okay, so what did I do here? This is again pretty much the same combo as I've done in the past. This girl is all watercolor. Okay, obviously she's small. It's easier to control. You can see
Flesh tone.
the flesh tone on here. Now I have to admit I don't know that I did the same amount of work on this as I did on those other ones. I believe that I think I just went for it. I don't think I established my values on another piece of paper.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was under a bit of a deadline, I think.
Well, and I think you already had it in your head.
Yeah, sometimes when you've got it in your mind, you're just kind of good. This is all, the stonework is just a bizarre combination of acrylic and watercolor.
Greens and a little blue and gray. You can't really see it that well on the.
Yeah, like this part right here is acrylic. This over here, pretty sure is watercolor, or it's really thin acrylic. I think it's watercolor. Looking at the edges here, it looks like watercolor. So basically what I did was I put in some of him and his flesh tone in here, and then used the grays and the blues to kind of create this rock color so that it was all sort of harmonized together color-wise. Now this is, like most of my paintings, this is an orange-blue combination, or pardon me, an orange-blue complementary color scheme. And essentially what that means is you pick one or the other, blue or orange is your primary color. And you do an underpainting, like I covered this whole thing in blue, or I covered it all in orange. I probably covered it all in orange because I didn't want the flesh tones to be too cool. So, and because blue is complementary to orange, I used orange for the flesh tones as the base for my flesh tones. And these are all watercolor because you can see.
It's you before your coffee. Now, he doesn't drink coffee, but it's definitely me. Not the chick, the ogre before my coffee.
There you go. And so like the highlights, or pardon me, the veins and stuff are all watercolor. You can see some of the pencil lines are still in here. So I could have eliminated those by doing this in acrylic and opaquely painting, but I kind of like, again, when I'm doing flesh tones, look at the shadow on his arm. Okay, so what I've got is I got some underlighting kicking up in here with top lighting coming down this way, and that creates this shadow here. But that, by doing that, you get a really nice three-dimensional look.
Yeah.
To
like you could. It looks like you could almost feel the ripple.
Right, and that's what you're going for, right? Now this is all acrylic. Again, his outfit here is all acrylic, and all of his flesh tones are. Now his beard and his face, this is all watercolor, and the beard is a combination of watercolor with some white acrylic in there. That didn't really come out white, highlighty wise, but it did lighten it enough to create this sort of dark, light, dark areas, right? And then the background is all acrylic, and you can tell by the texturing. And this is just me working and putting down layer after layer after layer until I got the texture the way I wanted it. Now down here, this is interesting. I hadn't planned on doing this kind of fog or cloud down here, but when it was blue all the way down, it seemed weird. It felt like, well, okay, this is all still sky, and maybe it should be ground or something. Even though they're up in the hills and they could be at the top of a mountain, it just didn't look right to me. It looked very empty. And so I put in this kind of mist down here using white acrylic over the top of the blue that I put down, and it actually turned into something really nice. Ended up being a fairly solid effect. And I went in here with the edges. Sometimes I went in here with paint or colored pencil to kind of darken these lines around the edge of the figure work, or the edge of the rocks there, to kind of get that separation a little bit. You can see it on her leg as well, the line work there. And I tend to do that a little bit, just trying to get a little bit more separation. But this was for Emerald City Comic Con, and I did the painting. I sent it in for the the program book, and It was the first page in the book.
Nice.
So that was the first time that's ever happened. So that was pretty cool.
Do you ever use oils?
Yeah, but
Don't they take forever to dry?
yeah, the cleanup is so daunting that I never get started because it's like, oh,
Because
the mess to
cleanup
clean up
and little
is-
presties.
don't go together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have done some oil paintings. I wanted to show you guys this since Gail is, sort of entered the independent market. I did this drawing a pit. This might have been for a trading card that I was doing trading cards for him back in the mid 90s because I met him in Australia when we were at OzCon.
Mm.
And his agent who was repping him was like, hey, will you do some cards for us? And I'm like, yeah, duh. So I did this on tissue paper and I never transferred it to a board because I don't think we ever got to a point where this one was going to be done.
That needs to be done.
But that was kind of cool. So I wanted to show you guys this pit thing. So let me show you one more thing painted wise while we're Shelley
This
tells
is
you,
a surprise.
Shelley tells you a joke.
Oh, I don't know any good jokes. What do you? Oh,
Just
he's got. Should go get your Star Trek painting.
no, I don't.
No.
Great. This is.
I love it when he. Oh, and Shelley will, but okay, thanks.
Now, this is a very old painting, but it's still one of my favorites. I think this is the first
Oh,
first oil painting I ever did when I sort of figured out that looks like my arm, but it's just it's the chair.
chair, yeah.
Sort of figured out. I'm blocking it right now for the big reveal.
Dun, dun, dun.
You guys will be shocked when you see what it is. Yeah, it's pretty much Howard the Duck. So I did this like in the mid 90s when I was in the studio with.
95.
Can we zoom out on this, or we already zoomed out?
Oh, we're zoomed in as far as we can go.
Okay.
More,
Yeah.
more.
Okay. So I had figured I'd picked up enough technique and understanding of, because I went and read a book, Eiton's book on color theory is what I read. And to understand better how to incorporate colors and how to use them correctly. And so on this, I thought I knew enough, and I hadn't really played around with oils all that much, but I thought I could pull this off. And I knew it would be simple enough that if I, that it wouldn't get too complex for me, that I would be out of my league when I was just starting. So my favorite thing about this is the background.
Yeah.
You can't, well, maybe you can see it better. You get so much reflection off oil paints. It's really difficult. But you can see I hope. There you go.
Yeah.
Look at the painterly strokes in this like smoke coming up out of his cigar. And that's the great thing about oil paints. You can get that kind of real soft blending that you want, like you see on his beak. But you can also get by laying the paint on thicker, you can get some real texture in here and painterly look at the same time, which I did with the background. As you can see the brush strokes here and over here to kind of create this really sort of painterly background against what is actually probably a more finished piece.
Yeah.
And you don't really blend in this. I'm not trying necessarily to get a really, really soft edge like an airbrush or anything. I'm trying to get, I like the brush texture. And so I try to use it a little bit looser so you can see some of the texture in there from the brush.
Nice.
And it's pretty easy to get. Now this I made much softer, more airbrushy, that on his beak. And I think if I'd been smarter, I would have, or braver, I would have tried to do it more like I did with this, which is a little bit rougher texture-wise, because it does look cooler when it's more painterly, I think. Like you can see kind of the brush strokes here in his hair and how that's much more interesting looking than if it was just really super clean and tight. Again, just the dumb little things of putting or I shouldn't say dumb, but the little details of putting the shadow here. So I'm getting an underlight on the bottom of the cigar and a source in the top, which helps round that shape out and give it a three-dimensional sort of feel to it. So anyway, that was like the first painting I ever did when I was working professionally. And this was just for recreation to kind of practice. And so I've done oil paintings on and off throughout the years. The sad thing is, give me that.
Yep. I think
The
the dog is like totally calm until you start streaming, and then it's like
he just digs into everything and
it's
just
not all about me.
yeah.
I'm gonna make some noise and get into stuff.
But the problem I've had with oil painting over the years is I would do just enough and start figuring it out and get into a rhythm, and then a big job would come up, and then I wouldn't do it again for 2 years, and I forgot everything that and then you're starting over from scratch again and again and again all the time. So let me show you one more thing while I'm thinking about it.
Oh gosh.
And then we'll
And
wrap
then-
this baby up.
Yeah. I was gonna grab that too. That's
Well,
so
why
weird.
didn't you?
That is so weird.
Okay, this is on the board right now, and that looks blue, but it's actually greenish blue, like a teal. This is a mosasaur, and I did all the background over it. In fact, I told my daughter the other day, I was like, I gotta finish that painting. She goes, it is finished. And I went, what? I go, yeah, the background is, but the rest of them isn't. So what I did here was I went in and put in all the black or dark areas with acrylic. So basically what I do with these oil paintings is you transfer it onto the board. Now these obviously I can't light table because they're too thick, right? I'm not going to be able to light table an image on here. So I do it on tissue paper, and no kidding, just do it the old fashioned way where you rub the one side of the tissue paper with a pencil, put it down, and then trace the drawing onto the board, and it comes out, and the pencil comes out on there. And then you go on and ink it with acrylic, okay? Because acrylic is waterproof and it's not going to smear or anything. And so then I use that as my underpainting to put the oils down. So then, of course, the first thing you do, and I read this and learned this from Boris Vallejo. I don't know him personally, but read his book. You lay the background down first to get that done, and then you of course, you're painting over the top of some of the, right. So then when you paint the edges here of this mosasaur swimming, he then lays down on top of the background to create that feeling that, he's separate from the background. Whereas if you painted this guy first, and then you're trying to get the edge around for the background, it's not going to look as good. So this is the painting I really want to finish and get back and get done. It's an oil painting. And this has been sitting here for
a long time.
A long, long time.
Yep.
So,
there you have it.
Hopefully, there it is. So that's pretty much, as Forrest Gump would say, that's all I have to say about that.
Life is like a box of Swedish fish.
That's right.
Oh, we're back.
That Howard the Duck turned out awesome, says David Williams. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Rock. Yep.
So yeah, I'll do a stream at some point where I'm actually doing the painting, but I got to get back into a rhythm so that I feel comfortable and know what I'm doing again before.
You sit around for, yep.
Sitting around for over 65 million years. That's good stuff. Jinx. This is terribly sad that I actually don't.
Jeffrey.
I don't have a painting of Man-Thing. I should have a painting of Man-Thing. That might motivate me enough to actually paint.
Well, make your list. We've got quite a bit of work ahead of you.
Yeah. DJ Close says, I like anything with a stogie.
Yeah.
So he approves.
Oh, he's making a little bed back there.
Oh
for
my
himself.
gosh. Your paintings look great. Great colors. I'm a fan. Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate that, man, very much. He's of course referring to Howard the Duck #3, where he became the master of Quack Fu.
Oh my gosh.
And that was actually the only issue drawn by John Buscema. The first two issues were Frank Bruner.
knowledge.
Then John Buscema came in and drew the third issue, and then
Uh-huh.
the rest of Gene Colan took over after that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
I've already bored Shelley. At least when she
No.
was handing me the painting, she had
I had a
something
job.
to do.
Yeah, you have to brush up on it.
GJ Martinez says, thanks for sharing all the incredible paintings you've done. Hey, thank you.
Mhm.
This deserves something. Probably this.
Boo!
No, I liked it.
Oh, it's weak. Come on, statistical zero.
Boy, don't sugarcoat it.
Bring your good stuff, will you? Well, you know, the interesting thing about this was that, yeah, he did, but it was Steve Gerber who wrote all the weird stuff that Gene Colan had to draw. So I don't know how much of that was, how much of it was actually Gene Colan's weirdness. And because I knew Gerber personally, and he is a weird dude. So. All right, so let me remind everybody of Wraith of God.
Yeah, man.
It's our campaign we have going right now on Indiegogo. The link is in the description of this video, so please go check it out. And because that's such a great story, the cow vampire story, where Howard the Duck has to kill a cow that's turned into a vampire cow. That's good stuff. Yeah. So anyway, because I paid good money for this, let's take a look at this video for Ray.
Rocking.
And thanks, Comic Book Bob. I appreciate that. Do what Apex Comics said. What did he say? Wraith of God painting print.
Then on the list, job number 135.
I'll tell you what. If we get to 100 grand, I'll do it.
Better add it. Better add it. Go there now.
Oh man! All right,
Indiegogo. Go to Indiegogo. Yeah,
you got a little
I know.
song
I'm
that
so
you can
clever.
make your own video.
Right.
So you guys, again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much for backing the campaign and getting us as far as we've gotten in such a quick amount of time. We still have a long ways to go, though. So, well, not a long ways to go, but we have a little ways to go.
Best we can.
So
6 figures.
Keep pushing
Hypertator says 6 figures.
Keep pushing it. I'll keep pushing it.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, families, your neighbor's dog, whoever who might have a few bucks to throw down in the campaign and get a book, because I think it's going to be well worth it. So,
yeah, we'll have to get the photo print on the cake of the cover when we hit.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be something?
I know, statistical zero. Good idea.
Oh, now see, after getting booed by Patrick Starfish, he comes in with a killer idea.
Yeah. Great stream, Apex Comics says.
That's a great one.
Thanks, guys.
Share on Facebook. Share what on Facebook? I share it on the Facebook all the time.
Stuff. We just got to keep doing it. I keep sharing on mine, even though, I have like
I think
4 friends.
I think I put up the. Let me show you this.
I just put it on Instagram as well. For me, though,
I put this up. I think today on Facebook because I just give everybody a break from being bombarded with Wraith of God stuff. For
share on Twitter.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Yeah. So this is actually available for sale too.
Nice.
11 by 14. full color She-Hulk, looking the way
And
she
she's
should
green.
look. She is
Yeah.
much greener than you're seeing there on your.
Yeah, well, she
Well, that's
should
a
look.
little bit better. Well, it's still kind of gray, but yeah. So that's still available. And all you guys that bought original art from me, if any of you are on the stream right now, like in the last week, I ran out of materials and launching the book. I got behind, but I swear the stuff, I'm sending it out here on Monday. I promise. So thank you.
Oh
for your
yeah, David
patience.
says not you, Aaron. Your fans.
Oh,
You have fans, honey. So sweet.
I have partners, is what I have.
Ooh,
This is
I like that much better.
This is a
Partners.
we're partners in this project, and
We're all in
they're
it
the
together.
investors, and I appreciate
Yeah.
it, boy.
Oh my gosh, so much.
Anyway, that's going to wrap it. I'll be back sooner than later, as I usually am, on any last second live stream. What was tomorrow? Monday?
Mhm.
God, I got to get. I am so far behind in that pop-up book. I'm going to get myself in trouble if I don't.
Okay, you
get
better
that
work
stuff
tomorrow.
done. Yeah, I
So I
better.
might just have to remove the computer from the studio tomorrow.
Yeah, but I might still. Oh no, we didn't get out of here in
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Mike Miller.
Revolution.
Mike Miller,
Mhm.
recovering from COVID, is still trying
Oh.
to start a revolution.
Get it.
Wow, that's some stamina right there. Sorry, Jimmy. We stalled as long as we could.
Oh, man,
waiting for
yeah.
you. What happened, man? You're supposed to.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, I feel bad. But you can go back and watch it. You can. That's the beauty of it. It's going to
Yeah.
be posted up in a few minutes right after this. You can go back and watch it.
And that way you can fast forward through all the lame Shelley jokes.
No,
and,
it was kind of funny. We had a good laugh. So it was get one of those
Nice.
planes with a banner behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's cheap.
Well,
Yeah, when we get to
we're rolling in it, aren't we?
when we get to 200K, I'll rent a plane to do Wraith of God banner through the skies over the Northwest here.
cool. Oh, Jimmy was fighting with people on Twitter. That's
Where?
why he was late.
Oh,
Oh, were
I
you
was fighting.
shredding, Jimmy?
Boy, that's is Twitter anything but just a cesspool of? I mean, it's like I hate that I even have to be involved in it, but I do. It's
all. We're done with all that.
That's right.
Crudola.
We're going to go back to posting art and fun stuff, and we'll just keep on moving. So anyway,
Twitter is dumb.
it is.
That's a T-shirt right there.
But Mike Miller is unstoppable, says
Awesome.
Mike,
Yep.
and it is true. Oh, look at this. I was defending our man.
Nice.
Thank you, Jim. I
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, my fingers got really tired of doing that. But, yeah.
I was thinking about
Ooh.
it. I don't know if I got time to do one of those stand-up banners. I probably should. I'm going to have to get on that right away. Oh, another thing to take up my time is working on my pop-up book, which I'm already going to be in trouble for. So, but what are you going to do?
Yep.
Anyway, all right, we can stall forever. All right, everybody, thank you.
Comments.
It's been a blast. I really appreciate you guys' participation and showing up. We had a good time. This has been one of the funner Sunday shows we've had in a while.
Funner.
More fun?
The most fun.
Most fun?
The funnest.
The funnest of the fun?
The funnestest.
Anyway, we're like that couple that says they're at the holidays and you're at their house and you go, okay, we got to go. And they get to the door and they talk for another half hour. And they go, well, we got to go. They open the door and they talk for another 15, 20 minutes and just keep talking.
Yeah. Hugs. And,
Anyway, now I'm really going to end the broadcast. So see you guys and thank you. Appreciate it so much. We'll see you soon.
Eat your snacks.